Testing. Okay, here we are in the third part, the third video for today, discussing the industrial economy and family. And by industrial economy, in the Kuntz reading, she's talking about this period of time where there was this great increase in industrialization and urbanization. And by industrialization, we mean increase in manufacturing, right? The mass production of goods, people moving into industrial production, either as workers or as owners of the manufacturing. And she also talks about how this particular period is the development of the modern family as we still tend to think of it today, which I will talk about on the next slide. Another hallmark of this period is increasing heterogeneity in family life by social class. So I don't think we've talked too much about social class in our class so far, but diversity in family life by social class, heterogeneity. By social class we mean one's position in the social hierarchy, right? Are you middle class? Are you working class? Are you upper class? Sometimes we kind of interchange that word with socioeconomic status, thinking about what kind of occupation people have, how much income they have, how much wealth they have, and so on, with this idea that your social class position plays a big role in your access to goods and services, access to opportunities in life, and even other differences that are related to family that we'll discuss quite a bit in this class, and we have already a little bit when we talked about education and marriage and education and divorce rates in the first week. But in this particular industrial economy time period, they mean heterogeneity in terms of job security, right? If you're working in a factory, how secure is that job? How easy is it for you to get fired from that job? Differences in home life, differences in household labor, and even differences in family form. Another aspect of this is the beginnings of sexuality to be separated from fertility. So we've talked about fertility before, not fertility as a biological capacity, but fertility referring to patterns of childbirth, patterns of childbearing. So that actually is the forum post for this one, or you can also refer back to the first forum post, but I'll discuss that on the next slide. Part of this reading and what I asked you to think about for your reading response for today's class was Kuntz is arguing that modern family, as we still think of it today, came about during this time period, and that this was a departure perhaps from what family meant in the past. And we can contrast this with families in other time periods and cultures, and you can revisit that earlier forum post. So Kuntz argues that modern family came about during this time period, and she means modern family in terms of its structure, right? Who is considered to be a member of this modern family, but also to the emotional relationships between family members. So by structure, she's arguing that at this time, modern family implied that the family is smaller, that there are lower fertility rates, and it revolves around this nuclear family, just parents and children. Servants, boarders, people that might live in the household, extended family, considered not as important, not considered to be part of this modern family core. Another big change is the emotional relationships within families. Parents became more emotionally involved in raising their children, and couples, right, husband and wife in this case, became more emotionally connected to each other, became more like companions. And this is a big change. This idea of this companionate marriage, these emotional ties. And we're going to actually, when we talk about marriage and marriage in historical perspective later this semester, a lot of these ideas will come back up. Again, right, focusing on the separation between home and work, which kind of makes the home, your family, this emotional center that's maybe separate from other things going on in your life. And another aspect of this modern family, connected to these emotional relationships, is prolonged residence of children in the parents' home. Right? Children not necessarily going out to work at young ages or going to be apprentices in other people's homes, but they're staying at home longer And this is also connected to the beginnings of expanded education for children.